booktube, it's Eleanor here, and it's time for my March TBR. So this month is going to be a really busy reading month. If you haven't seen my video or seen the videos on other people's channels, the booktube SFF awards for 2016 are upon us, and the next few months we as judges will be spending reading the top 3 books in each category and deciding our favourites. So if you haven't checked out the video where I tell you about the shortlist, then go and check that out. So obviously they will be on my TBR, but I won't be mentioning them here. So let's get into the buddy reads that I'm reading this month, and there are quite a few as always. So the first book I'm going to be reading this month is with the lovely Brittany from Under the Radar Books, and we're going to be reading The Moon Dwellers by David Estes. This is a dystopian type story. It's set in a world where everything's gone to pot. It's not possible to live above ground, so everyone has moved below ground and created a new society which they have called the Tri-Realms. We're following a 17-year-old protagonist who has been unfairly put in prison in the sort of deep underground. When a war breaks out, she must escape from the prison in order to try and find out secrets of her past and help save the world, as always. This is, I think, part of a quartet of books, which I own all 4 of, so I'm really hoping that this will be a good one, and I'm looking forward to reading it with Brittany. Next up is The Honours by Tim Clare, and I'm going to be also reading this with Brittany from Under the Radar Books and also Jackie Kate. I'm really excited about this one. It's a little bit out of my comfort zone. It's set in 1935 in Norfolk. It's set in a sort of wartime, which isn't something I'm normally drawn to, but this just sounded really interesting. It says, war is looming in Great Britain, and the sprawling country estate of Alberdine Hall is shadowed by suspicion and paranoia. Its newest resident, Miss Delphine Venier, is determined to uncover the secrets of the Hall's elite society, which has taken in her gullible mother and unstable father. As she explores the house and discovers the secret network of hidden passages that thread through the estate, Delphine uncovers a world more dark and threatening than she ever could have imagined. With the help of head gamekeeper Mr. Garforth, Delphine must learn the bloody lessons of war and find the soldier within herself in time to battle the deadly forces amassing in the woods. So yeah, I'm really excited to be reading this one with those 2 lovely ladies. Next buddy read is with Caitlin from Kitty G and Mercedes from Mercy's Bookish Musings, and we're reading the book I bought them both for Christmas, which is Futuristic Violence and Fancy Suits, which is by David Wong. I saw this and thought it was it sounded like a sort of marriage of all the types of things that all 3 of us quite like. It's science fiction, and it's also a bit more literary, and it just sounded really fun. I won't read you the synopsis, but I'll read you the bullet points on the back because I think they give you a taste of what it might be about. Nightmarish villains with superhuman enhancements, check. An all-seeing social network that tracks your every move, great. Mysterious, smooth-talking power players who lurk beneath the scenes, yes please. A young woman from a trailer park and her very smelly cat, brilliant. Together they will decide the future of mankind. It just sounds brilliant, and I'm really excited to read it with those 2 lovely ladies. The next book I'm going to be reading with Joss from Scribbles Read, and that is Some Girls Are by Courtney Summers. This is an interesting story. It's a contemporary story. It's, I believe, about bullying. It's about a girl who is part of this sort of popular group that bullies everyone called the Fearsome Five. Something happens. There's rumours that fly about her with her best friend's boyfriend, and she is shunned from the group and becomes one of those that is bullied, and she then tries to forge a relationship with a young man who she bullied herself, and possibly form some sort of relationship with, and I think it's going to have some interesting themes. And Joss is great, and I love reading books with her, so I can't wait to read this one together. Is A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. It's about time I picked this one up. I'm reading this again with Caitlin from Kitty G and a few other booktubers, and I'm interested in finally getting to this book. I've heard that it mixes opinions. Some people like it, some people hate it. I know Mercedes really didn't like it, and then I know others loved it, and then some are just in between. It's a story of a group of male friendship It's a story of their friendship. We find out the backstory, and one of those boys or young men in the group has a quite harrowing past, and so I'm interested to finally get into this and seeing what my thoughts are on it. I feel like I should rename March Caitlin and Eleanor Buddy Read, because I'm also reading All the Birds in the Sky by Charlie Jane Anders with Caitlin this month. I've heard nothing but good things about this. I've heard it's a brilliant science fiction story. It's about two people, a girl and a boy. They grow up together. They're bestest of friends. They lose touch, and we come across them later in life, where one is a genius in engineering and the other is a graduate of a magical academy. It sounds brilliant, and I'm looking forward to finally reading this one. Next up is a classic book that I want to read, and I'm going to be reading Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I'm really excited to be reading this. I've got a very pretty edition here, a cloth-bound classics. And I'm going to be reading this with the lovely Alicia from Ex Libris and Ange from Beyond the Pages, who I attempted to read Vanity Fair with, and it was nothing to do with them why I didn't manage to read it, because they both finished it. I just couldn't do it. But we decided that we were going to read this one together. They're determined not to let me lose hope in classics, and I really want to read it, so I'm looking forward to discussing it with those two lovely ladies. Next up is two books I'm reading with the lovely Brittany from Under the Radar Books, and that is The Book Collector by Alice Thompson and Barbara the Slut and Other People by Lauren Holmes. These are both books that we've both wanted to get to, so we've decided to buddy read them both. Neither of them are particularly long. I don't know an awful lot about this. I've heard it's about a woman who is obsessed with a particular book. She has quite an idyllic life in Edwardian England, and she is obsessed with this book of fairy tales her husband keeps locked up, and I've heard it's weird and wonderful and a really great read, and I can't wait to try it out. Barbara the Slut and Other People is a interesting look at saying the word slut and being labelled as something, and a look into family life. I think our main protagonist in this has a autistic brother. She's clever, she loves sex, and she's navigating high school's slut shaming culture. So I think this is going to be a really interesting read. So that is potentially all the buddy reads that are set. However, there are two books that me and Caitlin might also read together if we have time, but that is already a lot of books, and obviously I also have the books I need to read for the SFF. So we're very open, me and Caitlin, and we're very sort of, yeah, we can't do it now, let's just move it. But we have got two books on our radar that we might also read. The first of those is 2312, which is by Kim Stanley Robinson. This is a story about a world where we're in 2312, that's the year. We're not only inhabiting Earth, we're also inhabiting many other places now, and it's about events that happen that cause humanity to look at itself, and it sounds really good. And then also Underground by S.L. Gray, which is a book set in a world where there are these underground bolt holes for rich and the rich to wait out an apocalypse. When this apocalypse happens, they race it down to these bunkery things, which then lock, but they are locked in, and as soon as they're locked in, they realise that one of them has been killed, and they may be stuck inside with that person who's done the job. So this sounds like it might be quite a fun and dark read. Next up is a book that I was sent by the publisher that I would like to read because it is out in April, and that is Maladapted by Richard Curti. This book is about a young man who is in a train crash, and he appears to be the only one that has survived. He doesn't really understand why. He joins up with somebody else in order to try and uncover the secrets of why he's still alive, and it sounds like an interesting read, so I'm looking forward to getting to this YA story. Then all the books that I've got here, I've got 4 more books I would like to try and read this month, but if I don't, I'm not going to put any pressure on myself, and I don't put pressure on myself anyway. The first of these will be a buddy read with a group of booktubers. We're just waiting for everyone to receive their copies, and that is Pure Juliet by Stella Gibbons. I love Stella Gibbons' Cold Comfort Farm. I love her writing style. This is a beautiful book, and it was a book where the manuscript was found by her daughter, I believe. After Stella Gibbons had died in 2014, they found this manuscript for this story, which is about a young girl who is a genius. And I love Stella Gibbons, and I'm so pleased this has been published, so I can't wait to dive in and see if it's just as good as Cold Comfort Farm. Also, I want to read Garden Spells by Sarah Addison Allen. I've got quite a lot of heavy going books, science fiction and fantasy books in my buddy reads, and I wanted something that was a bit more light and contemporary in order to sort of break things up a little bit. I've had this one for quite a while, and the reason I picked this one over any of my others is because I was kindly sent by the publishers First Frost by Sarah Addison Allen, which is set in the same place as Garden Spells, and so I'd like to try and read both of these this month so that I can dive into her writing. I've never read anything by her before, and I can't wait to try it out. I believe they're sort of magical realism. Garden Frost is set in North Carolina. It's about a group of women in a family called the Waverly family, and each Waverly woman is somehow touched by magic, and it just sounds really light and fun and romantic, and so I can't wait to give these a try. Next up is a book I was also sent by Bookbridger, which is Never Tear Us Apart by Monica Murphy. This is a new adult story about a boy who helps a girl escape. He is her he helps her escape from someone who's kidnapped her. We skip years later, and the two meet up again, and he has a secret that his father was the kidnapper that she doesn't know. They forge a relationship, and I'm assuming it's about how they cope and deal with the fact that his father was the one that did it, and whether she knows and whether he lies about it, I don't know, but I'm interested to find out, so I'll be giving this one a go. And now finally, that's a lot of books, I know, but I do read, 20 plus books a month, so it's not undoable. I will be picking my BookTuber recommends for the month and seeing which one I shall be reading from there. Let's hope it might be a short one. That would be quite nice. Right, let's see. The book that I have picked is Liar Liar, which was recommended to me by Nicole from Wolf's Whistle. This is Stephen Fry's first debut novel, which apparently is hilarious, so it will definitely be a good one to read after some of those heavier books, and I look forward to sharing with you my thoughts on this one. So that's a lot of books, but as I say, I'm excited to read these. I really love a good buddy read. I know people have mixed views on buddy reads, and it just depends what works for you. The people I buddy read with, it's all very chilled out. They tend to read similar books to me and at similar paces. No one gets offended if we stop or just take a break or decide we're not going to read them. So I won't be holding myself accountable if not all of these happen, but I'm looking forward to trying to get to as many as I can. I'm excited about all of them, and I think I've got a good mix here. And obviously, as I say, I'll be reading the SFF books as well. I think most of those I have read a fair few of them, so there should be less to get through, but I'm looking forward to this month. And yeah, let me know if you've read any of these. What are you reading this month? Have you got any particular books in mind for your reading? And let's chat in the comments. Okay, bye for now, BookTube.